This episode of Real Garbage is brought to you by buying yourself a Switch for your birthday and making quarantine a hell of a lot easier.
Welcome to the Nintendo Club.
Woo!
This episode of Real Garbage is also brought to you by the Tiger King, helping prevent family murder-suicide for the past 2 weeks, probably.
This is Real Garbage.
I feel like it's an apocalypse of some sort.
Oh, yeah. You walk in the stores and all the canned foods are gone. Or, like, there's limitations to you can only buy 4 cans of soup at a time per per customer, 1 thing of toilet paper, no hand sanitizer anywhere to be found.
I haven't even looked for any. I've washed my hands because, what's your daily routine during this quarantine look like? Because you're not working, right?
No.
That sucks.
It really does. But what's super cool is that I work for the pub and they're a small business. So unfortunately, like with the closures, none of us can work, which makes sense. But I work for another company and it's a fairly large one and they've dedicated to paying us until we go back.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
That's really nice. They're taking like the last 6 weeks that we worked from the date of closure and then 6 weeks passed and paying us that rate based on the hours we worked. So that's super cool. They also bought like 40 million ventilating masks from China, and the company's based in Europe. So they bought those masks from China and are giving them away for free in Europe to healthcare workers.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so that's super cool. But my routine has changed drastically. I had just started like going to the gym and then I think like 3 sessions in and then this happened. And after like the first few days, I was like, fuck, I missed the gym. But my boyfriend's dad who works out and 2 of his brothers who also work out are also missing the gym. So their dad went out and bought the last 5-pound to 200-pound weight set on the island.
Oh, crazy.
Bought a bike and bought the matting for like the rubber matting for gym. And he's turning one of the boys' rooms that moved out into like a home gym. So that's super cool. But lately I've been sleeping in way longer than I should just because there's nothing to do and staying up way later than I should because I'm addicted to playing Breath of the Wild and Animal Crossing.
How good is Breath of the Wild?
So good.
How many hours do you think you've played so far?
I
think the last, I bought it at the start of January.
50 hours.
Holy shit.
Because I've been averaging since I got the Switch on my birthday, 10 days ago, which is so weird to think about. It feels like it was ages ago because I didn't get to celebrate. So mentally, I'm still 24. I'm not turning 25 until I can celebrate.
Happen.
No, it didn't. But yeah, since I got it 10 days ago, I've been averaging 10 hours a day.
It's so good.
I know.
What have you been doing it? We're gonna get nerdy. Because I started doing the 4 Divine Beasts first, and I think I got 2 of them, and then I sorted it. I jump into some side quests every now and then if I stumbled upon one. But I set my goal to be I'm gonna get these Divine Beasts.
Oh, I have no goal.
No?
I'm trying to stretch.
You're a wanderer.
Yeah, I'm trying to stretch this out as long as possible. So I'm literally running around fields, climbing trees, going into nooks and crannies and caves. And I'm like, yeah, teach me how to roast an apple.
Cooking is a huge part of that game.
Yeah. So I'm really trying to stretch it out and avoid direct plot lines yet as much as I can. Just because that way I'll get way more out of it and I feel like I'll burn through it really quickly.
Well, see, that's what I thought too.
That's true, and you've been playing for a while.
I've owned it for 3 months now, and I haven't been playing much lately. But in that first month, weekends were spent probably
Just
5 hours at a time, just going. But I'm just going after I'm gonna go to this Divine Beast and do it. But I need to get some hearts first, so I'm gonna find some shrines. Lately, when I turn it on, I just shrine hunt. Like I literally, like I have a map. I have a map, and I'm like, okay, there's one over here. I'm gonna go find it. And a lot of them, there's tricks to opening them. They're not all just there. Sometimes you have to. There was one where I had to, those big flying monsters.
Yes.
Just giant monsters in the sky.
Yeah.
There's one where you have to sit at a fire at a hut in the mountains, and then at 6 a.m. in the morning, you have to start running west. And then you like look up and you're like, oh, there he is. And you got to get to a certain point, and at a certain time, you jump down and glide, and then you get underneath him and you shoot a bomb arrow at his stomach and knock one of his scales off. Then you have to take that scale to the wishing well or something like some sort of weird like fountain out in the middle of nowhere, and you put it in front of there, and it's like the shrine comes out of the ground. You're like, what? Like I had to look it up. Who would have figured that out?
Yeah, no,
It's like,
that's
get this scale. I'm like, I didn't even know it was the name of a monster.
Yeah, that wouldn't be something that you intuitively would be like, yeah, no, absolutely do that.
And then like 900. I watched the Completionist on YouTube. Awesome channel, and he did Zelda. I think he did it 240 or 250 hours to 100% it.
Whoa.
You know those Korok seeds you find?
Yeah.
There's 900 of them. 900.
Jesus.
I think I found like 60, maybe.
Wow.
And they're up in trees under rocks. You'll find them in random places in the mountains. One time I just jumped off a cliff into water, and it was like, boop, 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 boop. He just popped up. He's like, you found me. It was like, what? How?
Wow.
I just jumped in the random spot, and it was like,
That's one thing I'm finding with like having a Nintendo console now, because I didn't before. I had a Wii way, way, way back, like, but just did the bowling. And, I'm realizing with Nintendo games, or games you can play on the Switch, especially, I wasn't anticipating, like, the two main games I've been playing are Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild, and they didn't have to go that hard, but they did. Like, I was blown away by how good the graphics are. And especially like on your Switch, I was kind of anticipating like maybe Game Boy Advance or 3DS type of thing.
it looks just like your TV.
Yeah,
No different.
it's so good. And the battery life, I did a big grind of I think 4.5 hours of Animal Crossing straight.
What is Animal Crossing?
It's this really, really cool game where you start and you're basically giving your life up and you're moving to a deserted island, and then you set up a little tent there, and your island has like a fruit specialty. Mine is oranges. There's also like pears, peaches, cherries, and that can be a currency, and you basically like populate this desolate island by traveling to other islands and telling NPCs to come and move to your island. And in 4 days, because I got it on the 20th, that's when it was released. And by the 24th, I had upgraded my tent to a house. I expanded my house. I paid off my first house's mortgage, the second mortgage from expansion. I'm currently paying off the third one from expanding to 2 bedrooms instead of 1. I've gotten 3 NPCs to come over to the island. I have this huge... I wish I brought my Switch with me to show you.
Well, I have a Switch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can log in as you.
True. I made this huge grove of like different trees and brought fruit back to grow different fruit trees, so now I have coconuts and coconuts and oranges and pears and peaches, and they all sell for different things. And you can open a museum.
Jesus. It's like Sim City, but different.
But
Sim Island.
yeah. And in your museum, you can dig up fossils and find different fish and different bugs and donate them to the museum.
Are you controlling one character?
Yeah.
Or okay. Like a third person view? First person?
Third person view.
Okay.
And you can play online, and like your friends that are also playing Animal Crossing can come to your island, and you can exchange goods.
That could get pretty interesting at this time in our lives right now.
And
Sell me your bananas.
when you set up your island, you have to say if you live in real life in like the northern hemisphere or the southern, because they go by seasons too.
Oh.
So, for example, I caught an oarfish today, And today is the last day that I can catch an oarfish until they come back into the oceans in September. So
And it's like a full year timeline? Like,
yeah.
oh, man.
Every day is a real life day. So that's the only part that's annoying is if you expand your house, you literally don't get that expansion until you log in the next day.
Well, at least it only takes a day.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like you're building a house for 4 months.
Yeah, true.
It's raining again. God damn it. You wouldn't be able to build anything in January in Victoria. It's fucking raining again.
But yeah, it's really interesting and super cool. You can also like wish on a shooting star, dig up money and plant a money tree.
What?
Yeah, it's a really easy time passer. So one day, like I woke up at, I think like probably 11, and at 3:30, my Switch battery was like, "You're at 15%," and I was like, "Whoa."
So you don't play it on your TV? You play it handheld?
Yeah.
Oh, see, it's funny that forgot it was a handheld until you brought that up tonight. I only play it hooked up to my TV.
Really?
The only time I've taken it out was like I had to go to the bathroom once. I'm like, I don't want to stop
Yeah,
playing
right.
Zelda.
I think for me, I enjoy playing handheld more than on the TV because lately I've totally just let go of like, I'll do my skincare. That's it. I don't feel the pressure to like wash my hair unless it's been 5 days and I'm like, you're disgusting. So I'll just like wake up, be in my robe, grab my Switch because I plug in all my electronics away from my bed so I don't have that like vibration or distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go get it and I'll get back in bed and I'll burrito myself and just grind, and then I don't have to put my glasses on.
Well, I guess, yeah.
But I have noticed that in the many days of grinding and doing that, my glasses block out blue light technology, and there's no blue light filter on the Switches. It's something that consumers have requested, and it's been really requested. So I hope people are hoping that a new update of software will allow that eventually. But because I'm not playing with my glasses on, I've been noticing I'm getting like more headaches. And
well, you won't be able to sleep as well either because you're like, oh, it's still daytime.
Yeah, I have not been sleeping well. But that's also just because I've been like getting up late and going to bed late.
Well, your whole schedule's messed up.
Yeah.
Like along with millions and millions of, like I feel, I'm fortunate. I'm lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I work outside. So I still get to work Monday to Friday.
Nice.
And it's like, I read people's comments and things they're putting online. I'm like, man, I just feel like, imagine right now, like you're holed up with your grandparents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have people in there, but just imagine you were I love being alone here.
that's true,
It's
yeah.
awesome. It's so awesome. I'm like, man, like I go out for walks.
Yeah.
I went on a really big hike yesterday, so I still do stuff.
That's
and
true.
I've been binging Battlestar Galactica. I binged season 3 of Ozark in the last 2 nights.
Nice.
It's so good. Have you watched it?
No, I haven't.
Great.
But I've heard such good things.
Great show. Binge all 3 seasons. But I work outside, so I'm still working Monday to Friday. And what was I saying?
Fortunate
for that.
Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, can you imagine being married with like 2 kids? And say you're one of those families where your parents have no control over their children, so they're just animals.
Oh,
Imagine being
God.
cooped up like that for weeks.
Yeah.
Like I imagine there's going to be either stronger marriages at the end of this, a lot of divorces,
Yeah.
I've heard like people breaking up already. Like I heard a story about someone's fiance dumping them like a week into this, and I'm like, wow. Well, you know what? It's a good test.
It is, yeah.
I've always said if you're going to move in with somebody, just go for a car ride first. Just go for like a 4-hour car ride. You want to murder that person and be like, I could spend some time with them.
Yeah.
I've made that mistake so many times where I should have just went for a car ride. Could have went for a train ride, but
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, but you don't want to end up in the water like these people in this terrible movie. Derailed. It's not even like D-E-railed.
No, it's the letter D.
D-railed.
D-railed.
Oh, man.
This movie D-railed.
D-fucking sucked is what it did.
D-sucked dick.
God. It suck these nuts. No, I watched it like I had finished it about half an hour before you came over here. And everybody, we are sitting 12 feet apart from each other.
We're so far apart.
Separate couches.
Yep.
Long mic cords.
Yep.
I sanitized everything.
And I have hand sanny.
People still are doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Like Rogan's still having guests.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's just like being educated and making sure that you're keeping yourself safe and like the people you're around safe. Like there's no way I would have come over and done this if we were in close quarters and you lived in like a one room bachelor, you know, like
you can sit on the floor right there. I'll lean up against the wall. Let's do this.
But I was trying to find something to watch before all of this happened. And I was searching through Netflix and I was like, nah, that doesn't interest me. And I was searching through Tubi and I was like, nah, nothing. And then I hit Amazon Prime Video and I was like, what's this?
Did it pop up on your front page? Or did you have to dig for it?
I typed in horror in the search bar. That's it. And then this came up and I didn't have to scroll far for it. That's why I was like, it came out in 2019 and I've never heard of it. So I know it's not going to be good, but it was in, I think the top 3 rows. So I was like, it'll probably be bad enough to podcast about, but not trash. And this was just
I said when you walked in, it made me want to punch the movie in the face at the end.
Yeah.
It was just a big fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what this movie was.
And I feel like they had 3 different writers from different, like with different specialties and what they write. And, you know, I feel like the director read one person's script and was like, I like bits of that and I like bits of that, but I don't like the rest. And then read 2 more scripts and was like, I like that and that, but not the rest. I like that and that. And then they were like, mash them together. Let's do
then
this.
Throw a stupid looking monster in there.
This is my epic brainchild. But like,
well, okay. Because right off the bat, we don't know when it is.
nope.
My first question was, when is this supposed to be? They're on a train. It seemed like the people dressed up for Halloween were semi-modern costumes.
Yeah.
And like the chick that was dressed up as a sexy cat. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, that's pretty new.
Yeah.
It's like, so that's cell phone times.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we see.
oh yeah, the stare down right off the bat. That's my
Yeah, the
second note.
stare down
What's with the
getting on
stare
the
down with the
train.
sexy cat?
And here's the thing. If I've always wanted to go to like a murder mystery party or a whodunit party. And you know, when you go to those, people get dressed up like that. If, you know, your murder mystery is in the 60s, you know, you get dressed up in
Flapper
60s
gear,
garb.
eh?
Yeah, and flapper days.
Oh, wait, that's 20s.
Yeah.
It's different.
You can definitely see, you can't pick out like, oh, that costume doesn't belong. Like the main character eventually being dressed up as a flapper because they, you know, these 3 people who we never ever see again, the stare off people, the young people.
Yeah, they just start the movie off for us.
Yeah.
Then bye.
And they talk about how people pay so much money for this like murder mystery event in a train car, and so it's believable at that point, like the difference in costumes and the more high-endness of the costumes going into the really expensive exclusive murder mystery train car party.
Well, I figured they were just dressed up in costumes because it's Halloween.
yeah.
And they're like, let's go do a murder mystery.
And right off the bat, the filming pissed me off because the guy dressed up as the lion tamer, the camera was like zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, every other word onto his face. It was like pan out, show him and the 2 lions, zoom in on his face, pan out, zoom in, pan out. And he's not even talking about anything intense. He's just saying, yeah, they pay a lot of money to go to that murder mystery party, and it's like dun 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 dun. My third point in my notes that we'll get to later and debunk it or not. Let me guess. They're all ghosts.
A little further down, I wrote my prediction. They've all been drugged And this is all a hallucination because two of them, jumping ahead a little bit, two of them hallucinate later.
Oh, yeah.
And that's never explained.
Yeah, it's never addressed.
At all. At all. And it's never brought back
I
up.
forgot about that.
I made a note of that for sure.
Yeah.
So they get on this train. So they're standing there, like Buddy's like, why is this taking so long? How long is this lineup?
Yeah.
And they're like, just shut the fuck up and wait.
Yeah. And here's the thing. After let me guess, they're all ghosts. My fourth note, right under that, I was like, oh, wait a sec. Never mind. That potential ghost, the main character, has a conch piercing. Like during the stare off, they zoom in on the people and she has a freaking metal ring, like a classic conch piercing right here. And I was like, okay, they're not ghosts because that's in present time because she has a conch piercing. Yeah, that guy in the Charlie Chaplin hat, just like, when is this going to happen? Is it going to, like...
He's so impatient.
I know. Like, where do you have to be? You paid for this. Like,
When they just lined up, too. That's
Yeah.
like walking up to a person at Subway and going, holy shit, how long are you going to make me wait here for, buddy? Make that sandwich faster.
yeah, grab the lettuce now! And then during the stare-off, the chick in the cat suit is, like, petrified. Like, she's looking and she's so scared. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why?
It's just a person.
Are you that much of a like millennial that you don't understand like 20s garb? Like what? Are you like like I don't get it.
She was staring at her pretty intensely.
Yeah. Maybe she had a bad experience on the Tower of Terror as a kid and she's now afraid of 1920s outfit. Like it made no sense.
I was just thinking of the dude I was staring at the grocery store today. This guy because we got to line up 6 feet apart from each other, right?
Yeah.
So I'm standing there. It's my turn next, and this guy just walks in, does a turn, walks over to the next open counter. I'm like, you motherfucker. And I'm not going to make a scene right now. So I'm just staring at him while he's buying his lotto tickets. I'm like, fuck you. And then I had to go to the same counter. I was telling you this earlier. I don't know if I said this.
No.
Guy ringing my stuff through, not wearing gloves, didn't sanitize anything, dropped my bag of apples on the floor, thought I didn't see, picked the apple up that rolled onto the floor and went to put it in my grocery bag. And I was like, yo, I don't want that apple. It was on the floor. He's like, oh, ugh. There are so many stupid people out there
I know.
that just don't understand what's going on.
I know.
Sorry, anyway.
But even, like I said earlier, even not in a pandemic, that's such shitty customer service. Like, oh, you dropped your apple.
I'd never seen that guy before, so I think he's new and he's angry.
Maybe.
He's fed up with people.
Yeah. I don't understand why he'd be angry. He'd be, if he's new at Fairways, he's one of the very few people that still has a job. Like,
You'd think so. But they're working them like rented
probably.
mules. I know one girl's doing like 48 hours a week or more.
Whoa.
Yeah. Which like isn't a lot of work in the
it's
grand
like-
scheme of things, but I
It's
think
an extra shift.
but she goes, in another week I'm picking up more hours. I'm like, oh man.
Holy shit.
And I can assume you're probably dealing with some mostly nice people, but sure there's some disgruntled people that have been stuck
absolutely.
inside with their family for too long.
Yeah.
Just give me the toilet paper and let me leave. So now we're on the train. So they all go in there and they start meeting each other.
Yeah.
And we meet Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's annoying.
Yeah, immediately I was off put by the character, which I can, like, you can tell by the way this is filmed that it wasn't meant, like, Eugene wasn't meant to come across as, like, off-putting and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But he did.
bad actor.
Very bad. And what I thought about this movie was we never really get to know any of the characters.
No, not even the
None of them.
lead.
No. She's just a bitchy person.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, her friend that works there got her a ticket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's just angry about that. I'm like,
I know.
fucking, you got a free ticket to a cool show that your friend does. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up and just go.
Right? And especially because apparently, A, the tickets are expensive, and B, they're serving like prime rib and shit.
Yeah. You
Hell
get
yeah.
your choice of food. So
Yeah.
shut the fuck up. She ordered the chicken or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we meet, who else do we meet at this point?
We meet Discount Andy Serkis, the host.
Oh, that guy is weird.
Yeah.
But we haven't met him yet because he comes in at dinner. Because
yeah.
like, okay, I had
right.
the train has him. So we go outside. They're like, all right, everybody's on the train. This train conductor is I don't know what he was doing here. He's like, everyone's on the train. He's like, all right, you're good to go. Get out of here. And then like the train starts pulling away, and the guy's going, all aboard. All aboard.
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't what? No, you were supposed to yell that 20 minutes ago, old man. Everybody's on board.
I know.
Someone's running up. I'm not on board.
This movie really it really made me want to train whistle. Like,
Woo, woo. Train ride at some point in my life, though, I think would be pretty cool.
yeah, across Canada train ride.
Oh, yeah. So next we meet, I was calling him Creepy Blue Suit, but it was Thomas. Thomas is his name.
He was very weird looking.
Yeah. He sits down and he's like, his lips are like, I made a comment.
Yeah.
He's like a duck face. I'm like, who are you posing
I'm
for,
like,
you
oh my
weirdo?
God, calm your fish lips down. He's
Relax your face.
do you like my new fillers? like,
I got lip injections.
he had such big, unnatural looking lips.
Mm-hmm. And he was just awkward. All the people in this movie were awkward. He sits down next to Evelyn and they start talking. And she's like, well, this is where we find out who she is and what her story is. Oh, my friend brought me here, bought me a ticket.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, my brother invited me last year, but I wasn't able to come. And this year I thought I'd come. And then they're like, oh, where's your brother? And all he said was, well, he wasn't able to make it this year. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he's like, yeah, well, that's what happens. I'm like, no, what are you're acting like he's dead.
I know.
All you said was, oh, he couldn't make it this year.
Can you?
She's like, I'm so sorry. I was expecting him to go, oh no, he's at home.
Yeah.
He had to work. He couldn't get the time off.
Can you imagine like day-to-day conversations like that? Like
Holy
family
Jesus.
Christmas dinners. Hey, where's Katie? She couldn't make it this year. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, we're so sorry.
No, she's working. like
It's just
the
it was
hell?
just so dramatic.
and unnatural. The epitome of unnatural conversation.
Ugh. You know, so this is where they start eating dinner. And this is where she gets her chicken. And I mentioned it earlier. She hallucinates.
Yeah.
She sees a cockroach. So the cockroach is just there. She looks down, and it's gone. And nobody else sees it.
No.
So I'm like, okay, maybe she's got a psychotic break or something.
Yeah.
But then she's like, excuse me, miss.
Sends it back.
I saw a bug on my
Yeah.
plate. I don't see a bug on my plate, but I saw one. So can you just get me a new plate? And it's like, yeah, we'll get you a new plate. Like, no, can you give me a new plate of food? Didn't specify.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta say food.
Yeah.
Because then like the other waiter's like, yes, I'll get you a new plate. I'm like,
Yeah, it
oh,
just slides
Jesus Christ. Then she lifts the plate up and there's cockroaches all over the place.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, and
It's
makes
like-
this huge scene.
Yeah.
And immediately I was like, why are you fucking crazy already?
Mhm.
And I was like, what was that excuse? Oh, it just startled me. Oh, yeah, she said when the waiter picked up her plate, she was like, oh, it just startled me. I'm like, really?
Yeah. And they're like, sure.
like,
Of course
try
it did.
Try that in a restaurant. Next time I'm dining somewhere, hopefully soon, someone's going to come pick up my plate and I'm going to be like, holy shit.
A person. Wow. You have hands.
You scared
You
me.
picked that up fast.
And then hopefully everyone at my table is like, yep, that's sound. Yep.
Oh, we meet Abigail. Abigail and Antonia.
There.
Antonia.
I knew it was an
Antonia. Because I was writing down Antonio. I was talking to my phone. I'm like, Antonio. I'm like, wait, that's the wrong name. So Abigail's calling it the murder train.
A. And then Antonia's like, don't call it that.
She doesn't like when I call it the murder train.
But
Can I
it's
have
not what
lightning?
it is. It's like the murder mystery. Like, what the fuck?
Well, later we find out it's the M train. Because now we meet, what'd you call him?
Discount Andy Serkis.
That's fucking, I couldn't figure out who he looked like. I'm like, who does he look like?
Yeah.
It's him with a lot more weight.
Yes.
Dude was big. With like, he looked really baked.
Yeah,
His
he was
eyes
like,
were super bloodshot. But I thought the M train was the laziest name ever.
yeah.
Murder train sounds better.
Then M Train.
Like,
What the fuck?
welcome to the killing caboose.
Oh, a
There's-
sequel.
What else you got? Derailed 2, the murder wagon. just anything. And welcome to the M train.
Yeah, and then Discount Andy Serkis is like, we're here for a whodunit and yada, yada, yada. And he's telling them about, just what the night's going to bring, that they're going to have to guess who murdered so-and-so. And Eugene's like, I've been to 14 of these. This is my 15th.
I
Murder mystery.
love the murder train.
And then all of a sudden, the light flickers and Discount Andy Serkis gets stabbed in the back.
And then Ben Stiller with a curly mustache stands up and is like, I'll go get help.
Oh, yeah.
The inventor. Well,
Yeah.
because he points everyone out. He's like, this is your story. This is your story. And then he's like to Evelyn, I got a kick out of this. She got so offended.
Oh, yeah.
So offended by him. He's like, he's doing a monologue. It's a show. And he's like, blah, you didn't want to be here. She's like, fuck you.
I know. She had such a bad attitude.
Like, why are you getting so angry? It's just a show.
And then
19 minutes in was my prediction of they've all been drugged and the entire night's hallucination. Because at this point, during his monologue, Abigail sees blood leaking out of her forearm. And it's never discussed again. So she sees bugs, she sees blood, and that's it. That's the only thing they hallucinate. And then I'm thinking,
forgot about that.
okay, so 2 of them have been drugged. What was in the food? What was in the drinks?
What was in the chicken?
What was in the chicken? What was in that prime rib, bro? But I'm like, okay, this is obviously there's something.
Yeah.
They bring him on this train and they gas him.
Nope.
And they go crazy. And or that later on, I was like, maybe it's all a VR game.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just gonna wake up. Oh, thank you for playing Murder Train.
Yeah.
But
Nope.
no. So my prediction was wrong.
And then, Discount Andy Serkis gets stabbed in the back. And then the conductor's like, comes out of the only area where he could have been stabbed and is like, whoa.
What's all this then?
Yeah. And then they're trying to figure out the guy, what was his name? Eugene was like, they never kill the host. Like, whoa. And then the bitchy guy from the beginning, he gets up and he's like, basically, he's like, this is a robbery.
Of all places to rob people. Like,
I know.
I was instantly going, this is the dumbest idea you could have.
Same.
Just go rob someone on the street and run any possible direction.
Yeah.
You rob someone on a train, you're going one direction. Yep. And even if you, like, okay, let's say you're going to plan a train robbery. The timing of it has to be impeccable.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get like, all right, I'm going to get our getaway driver waiting 40 minutes down the tracks at this stop. But if we don't rob these people at this time and start slowing it down by this time, we are so past that stop.
And here's another thing I didn't realize. Like, obviously, if that did happen during a murder mystery party, at first it would be really hard to gauge, like, is this really happening or is this part of the show? But once they realized that this is really happening, in that car, there were probably, 10 of them?
At least.
Against the one guy.
Yeah, there's the actors and the guests.
Yeah.
There's like 10 guests and 7 actors.
Yeah, so...
The guy only has 10 bullets in that gun. Probably.
Yeah.
No, 6 bullets in that one.
Yeah, just flip a table and, go.
They're all pussies, though.
That's true.
They're on a murder mystery train. Fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's a robbery, and he's like, everyone put your valuables in this bag, blah, blah, blah. And he grabs the waitress that he was flirting with earlier and is like holding her hostage, essentially, saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot your fucking head off. And then Thomas is trying to be the hero. And did he have his own gun?
Yes.
Yeah. He whipped out his gun and he was like, pow, pow.
Had the conductor walked back in at that point, pouring himself wine yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, what up? Like,
Oh, I wrote that down right there because like
maybe
he
he
pulls
did.
the host away, and then he
Oh,
comes back
yeah.
in and like he's like pouring
need a
himself a
drink.
glass of wine. I'm like, your boss just got murdered.
yeah,
You're just like, let's have a drink to celebrate.
it was the conductor for sure. And then they're antagonizing this lady named Catherine, and for her jewels because she
Her
always
diamonds.
she always bragged that they were real. Now, by this point, Thomas is trying to be the hero, and and save the girl. And then what was his name? Raymond gets up and tries to help, gets shot in the shoulder, and then it's revealed that the waitress is actually in on it. And
Gigi.
Yes, and grabbed Thomas's gun. And Gigi was like, "Kay, partner," I forget his name. I don't.
Hold on. Oh crap. Clyde.
Yes.
Clyde.
She said to Clyde to go and find the
Conductor.
Conductor?
Conductor.
I thought the old man was the conductor.
Well, he was he was just a dude yelling all aboard. I think he was part of the driving crew. But Lawrence, is that his name? Lawrence sounds right. It's irrelevant anyway because he gets murdered pretty quick.
So Clyde goes to the conductor's quarters, and Gigi is antagonizing Catherine again. But here's what I didn't understand and I think was so fucking dumb. Catherine is literally sassing the person pointing a gun at her head, and she's already proven she will shoot someone because she shot Ray. And this lady's like, "Fuck you, Gigi, you talentless piece of shit."
Yeah, you never make fun of an actress's acting.
Yeah,
unless you want to get shot in the face.
Yeah, I'm not giving you my fucking jewels. And then she rips one of her earrings out of her fucking ear, and everyone by this point is like, "Catherine, give her the fucking jewels. Like, put them in the bag." And she's like, "No, fuck you," just in Gigi's face. And she shoots her in the head. And I'm like, that was kind of warranted. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, are you kidding? In that situation, you've seen this person who's now holding you up at gunpoint, already shot someone, doesn't give a shit, and you're mouthing off? Like,
It's one of those situations where someone's like, "Oh my God, Catherine got shot in the face." You're like, "Oh, what did Catherine say?"
Yeah.
Well, she had it coming.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. You always got to ask, what did that person do?
Yeah. She's just being herself.
So Clyde goes to the front, to is it the engine?
Yeah, the engine
The
room.
engine of the train? The
Yeah.
train engine, yeah. And, she's like, what was he saying? "I'm going to stop it, to slow it down." He's
Yeah,
like, "Slow this
because
thing
they're
down. There's coming to a curve."
Yeah.
Dead man's curve, or there's some other name for it. And I love how they, like, the two drivers, the conductors are like, "We got a plan. You
Yeah.
ready to hit him?" He ducks and swings his shovel at him. The bullet, his gun fires, hits the throttle, manages to
the NOS
turn the
button.
throttle all the way to the right.
Yep.
And then ricochet off and hit the guy next to him.
Yeah.
And like, did he shoot the other guy too? Like, did he shoot them both? Because one got shot. What happened to the other one? The one that like tackled him?
I think, yeah.
Or did they?
Because Clyde got the shovel.
I just
the
watched this
neck.
and I already forget.
Yeah, Clyde got the shovel to the neck, and then I think his bullets ricocheted off the shovel.
And killed them both.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Perfect shot. The perfect shot.
And then what pissed me off is the engine guy, he was trying to tend to his more severely wounded friend, and I'm like, you just hit the NOS button.
Yeah.
You might want to focus on slowing the train down, but he's like, "You're gonna be okay."
You're doing 90 miles an hour, apparently. 90, and you're into a 30, man.
Yeah. I did make a note that the neck pumping blood on Clyde was a good effect.
Yeah, it looked real. Okay, I just thought of this. Do you know how fast, like how fast have you gone in a vehicle? Not just riding in one. You don't have to say you're driving.
Yeah. Like 120.
That's it?
Yeah.
Jesus. I've done 245 kilometers an hour.
You?
On a motorcycle.
Whoa.
In a car, in my old Toyota Camry, did 188 kilometers an hour. Now, okay, you've 120. You know what 120 feels like?
Yeah.
That's like 65, 70 miles an hour, something like that. Now imagine what 160 kilometers an hour feels like. That's how fast they claim this train was going when it went off the railroad tracks.
yeah.
They were doing 90 in a 30 curve. I'm like, 90 miles an hour on it. I don't think a train can go that fast.
No.
And if it came off the tracks, holy shit, would it just be a fucking mess
Yeah, it
at
would
that
be
speed.
shredded
There-
and
they wouldn't
obliterated.
there wouldn't be Blondie sitting up going, "Oh man,
Yeah.
where is everyone?
They'd
I got
be
a scratch on my
smushed.
forehead." You'd be toast.
Yeah.
I just had to point that out because now they're going, because I wrote down, now they're going full speed.
And then the conductor's like, we have to get to the engine room and stop it. And Gigi's like, no. Clyde's got it. Like, she's so dumb. And then they decide when the train like goes and starts shaking and derailing and Gigi's kind of distracted, they all decide to run and book it to the caboose. And she's such a bad shot. She's like,
well, Thomas smashes her in the face at that point, I think.
oh yeah.
Just clocks her in the face, stands there, is like, oh, what do I do? He's looking at the gun. I'm like, grab the gun, you idiot.
I know, like, are you
and then rather than like pin her down and tie her up and run to the engine and try to slow the damn thing down. Because it didn't seem like it was a very long train to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, there was only 3 cars. The one they were in, the engine, and the caboose.
Yeah.
Because you don't see anything else. You don't see a long shot of that train anywhere.
No, you don't.
Yeah, so you have no idea how long it is. And maybe that's why it was going 90 miles an hour. Because it was only pulling 2 cars. Maybe. But I don't know. That's getting too deep into this.
So they plunge off the rails into a lake?
Well, this is where I got confused because what I understood from the description of this movie and the preview we watched was that, and it seems so stupid thinking of it now, was that this thing went right into the water and sank.
Yeah.
And then they had to decide whether they were going to stay in the sunken train car or escape it and swim through the deep.
Yeah.
With monsters, plural.
That's what the poster looks like.
That's what the trailer leads us to believe.
Yeah, that's the synopsis.
This thing lands in the middle of a lake. One end of it is like in the water, the other half sticking out. So they landed on a rock or a landmass of some sort. And at that point, I was thinking maybe they're just on a bank because we didn't actually see where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all come to, and they're like, it's hilarious. Like, Evelyn her face doesn't look hurt at all. A couple of scratches here, a little smeared blood. I'm like, what? You just fell off a bridge into a lake in a train car going 90 miles an hour.
Yep.
You should all have broken legs and faces and be smashed up.
And nobody was injured.
Ray had been shot.
Yeah, and he was,
And he's just like, oh man, I'm hurt. I can't help you. It's all on you, bro.
And one thing that, like, this is when the movie transitioned from being a thrilling robbery to a monster movie. Because now they were going to be, like, plunged into the lake and be, with monsters and trying to escape.
Oh, I must say, when they landed, the ringing in the ear effect.
That was,
it was painful. I had my TV up pretty loud.
Yeah.
And they went a little too far with it. I was like, God damn it, screaming at the TV, turning it down.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not enjoyable.
No, it was, I did appreciate what they were trying to do.
Yes.
But, it
was obnoxious.
Yeah. And then immediately some people are like, Evelyn, where are you? I can't see you. And I was so mad because I was like, if you're going to pull the characters can't see shit thing, put them in the dark so we can't see them.
Yes, everything was lit.
Yeah.
In these scenes.
And she's like, where's the light?
Oh my, her and the light.
Yeah.
Get me some light.
Yeah.
I need light. Jesus, stop screaming.
Yeah, Evelyn, calm the fuck down. And then discount Daniel Day-Lewis, Mustache Man, it like confronts Fish Lip Thomas and is like, "This is all your fault," and starts beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, that was Matthew? Was that the guy with the curly mustache?
Yeah,
the inventor.
Yeah.
Did he lose his mustache in the rest of this movie?
It was fake. He peeled it off. And he was talking to Ray.
That's why I was so confused. I'm like, where did Mustache Guy go? Who's this asshole? He was a dick.
Yeah.
Like, why was he beating the shit? Why was he like, it's all your fault? It's all your fault. This is like, did I miss a chunk?
Yeah. No, it was so out of the blue. And then Matthew finds flashlights, and he's like, they're looking out of the train car, and they're like, "Oh, I see water, but I can't see land." I can see the water rippling. What do you mean? And so Matthew jumps in, and then I'm like, all right, your flashlight shouldn't be working. It's submerged in water, but okay. And he starts swimming. And then he's like, I see land about 60 miles this way.
Oh, and like 100 yards, 100
Yes.
yards, about 100 yards over there.
And then they're like, come back. Okay, come back. And he's just bobbing there. And they're like, come back. And he's like, okay. Why would you come back? Keep swimming and get to the land and then start shaking your flashlight around.
Well, I thought this was silly. He jumps in fully clothed,
Yeah.
fully clothed with his shoes on. I'm like, if you're going to swim.
That'd be so heavy.
And he says, I'm a great swimmer.
Yeah.
I'm the best swimmer in here. And they're like, no, you're not. He dives in, stays under there for 10 seconds. And all of a sudden, whoosh comes out after they're like, where are you?
Yeah.
And he comes out and she's like, how far are you? I'm like, you can see him.
Yeah.
Dumbass. He's right there.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, yeah, swim back. Why? Why make him swim back?
I know. Why are you scared?
Just-
Why are you like, okay, come
Just
back?
let him go and figure it out.
Yeah. And then a huge scaly arm comes up and pulls him down.
Oh my
And they're like,
God.
what's happening? Where is he? And then, yeah, he is gone.
Their emotion in this scene is so terrible because he disappears. He goes under for like a minute.
Yeah.
And then he comes back up. And Evelyn's like, well, Abigail goes, oh, there he is. And Evelyn's like, okay, now come back here.
Yeah.
Not like, oh my God, you're alive.
Yeah.
Get out of the water. She's just like, come on now, swim back over here. Stop horsing around.
Yeah, stop dicking around, Matthew.
Wow.
Fucking idiot.
It's got no emotionality. Ah.
And then he starts swimming, and then he gets attacked by it, and they see it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Abigail's like, holy shit.
He gets attacked and he's gone. And then we flash over to Ray, and Ray's like, because at one point, Ray just kind of grabbed, was it Thomas? And was like, you have to do this now. You have to save us. It's all on you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm useless right now. Blah, 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 and just
When are
pretends
you
to
not
like
useless,
die. I'm like,
Ray?
you useless piece of trash.
Yeah.
So then we flash back to Ray, and Ray's like, you guys, hey.
Oh,
I
yeah. he
can't
gets
feel my
yoinked.
arm. And then like they're arguing back and forth, and he like keeps looking at the water, and he's like, uh-oh. Hey guys. Hey guys. Like he can't feel his arm. What the fuck is wrong with your legs?
Yeah.
Get out of it. He's like, his feet are in the water.
I know.
He's just laying there. And he's like, guys, there's someone in the and gets dragged into the water. I'm like, what? Yeah. Why didn't you move?
I know.
He just didn't care, I guess.
And
He
then
was ready to die.
Evelyn's friend, who was, I guess, dating Matthew and really upset about his demise.
It was Lucy. Was it Lucy?
Yes.
Yeah, Lucy.
Yeah. Lucy's like, I can't swim.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Evelyn's like, we're going. Like, and in my mind, I'm like, you can doggy paddle, bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Matthew was.
yeah, I remember being, like my grandparents, when I was little, they had a lake house. And every summer we would go up there and spend so much time at the lake. And that's where I like learned to swim and be comfortable in water. And before I could actually do strokes, I would be in the water. And, you know, being in the water for the first time as a kid, you're like, oh no, but you instinctually start just like doggy paddling to keep yourself
Sink
up.
or swim.
Yeah. So you're telling, I can't swim. It's like, keep your head above and hold like the foot of someone who can swim and just fuck
And
off.
don't swim with your dressing shoes on.
Yeah.
Because that's silly.
Yeah. So then,
Oh, then we see this thing because it drags Ray into the water, and then it comes back out for them, and I thought it looked like something out of an old 60s like creatures from the deep.
yeah, from
With
the Black Lagoon.
Longer fingers and a cheap imitation venom head.
Yes.
It was weird.
A huge mouth and then a huge mouth within the huge mouth.
Yeah, so it was like an alien ripoff
Yeah.
without the long xenomorph head
Yeah.
and really long weird fingers.
Yeah.
It was just, but it looked like a dude in a suit.
Yeah. Although I do appreciate they used a dude in a suit rather than CGI.
Yeah, I
But
guess.
here's the thing. This tore off Lucy's flesh.
Oh yeah,
She was stuck on something and it's pulling her, and Evelyn had her, and it like smacked its giant hand on her arm and was like pulling her flesh up to reveal her bone. Like, what kind of skin do you have?
it's so strong in that scene,
Mm-hmm.
and then yet the next scene when they're all in the water,
Oh,
And
yeah.
it jumps on Evelyn's back.
And Antonia's like, yeah, and just chokes, puts it in a full Nelson.
Well, it pulled down Matthew, pulled him down to the bottom of the lake or whatever they're in.
Yeah.
But it can't pull Evelyn down.
No.
Is it tired from ripping the arms off the other chick? It's like,
Probably.
I'm worn out. These guys are tiring me out. I need a rest. And what is this thing? Where is it from? Where was it at this point in time? Whenever this point in time is.
So then they all jump in the water, and it's every man for
They're
himself.
all swimming with their clothes on.
Yep. And then the train car starts sinking, and
Oh, yeah, 'cause-
Eugene was kind of pinned and stuck, and Thomas was allegedly going to go help. And then the train car sinks, and it's Evelyn, Antonia, and Abigail in the water. And they just stop swimming
Yes.
and are watching the train car sink. And I'm like, I hope it gets you. Fuck you.
There are monsters in this water. Hold on, I'm going to watch this train car sink.
Yeah.
Treading water.
My Heart Will Go On from Titanic starts playing. Yeah, like, fuck you.
Oh, man.
So they get to the edge of the lake and they're like, where's Eugene? I can't see anything. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, you can. And then Eugene comes up and they're like, where's Thomas? And he was like,
Oh, wait.
oh.
He shows up with no noise. There's
Yeah.
no splashing.
Yeah.
He hasn't been screaming in the water.
Yeah.
He just comes gliding up silently.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he's like, "Bruh, hey,
Yeah.
guys."
And then they're like, where's
What?
Thomas? And Eugene's like, oh, he just abandoned ship. I don't know where he went. He didn't try to rescue me at all. And immediately I was like, Eugene's the bad guy. He like,
What?
and then Thomas comes up.
Bruh, glides
Yeah.
up silently, splashes out from under
Yeah.
the water.
And then they're like, Thomas, where were you? And he was like, I went back for Eugene. Like,
Well, at this point, like, it's funny you say you think Eugene was the bad guy. There wasn't even a bad guy. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
even think of that. I was like, oh, I'm focused on this single monster now as the murder mystery's over. That's another annoying thing about this movie is that it was started off as a murder mystery
yeah,
and then just turned into this.
a monster movie.
Yeah.
And-
It was like, and the murder mystery's done here. Boom. Now it's time for the monster movie.
So
Double feature.
they're about to leave, and then the monster leaps out and grabs
Does
Abigail.
the same thing as the other two.
Yeah.
Glides up quietly. Ah!
And then Evelyn's like, no! And then jumps in, and Abigail gets loose. And then it's yanking Evelyn down. And then Antonia gets some balls of steel and puts him in a full Nelson headlock. And then she just sacrifices herself, I guess?
And all the while, Evelyn's holding a flashlight that isn't on.
Yes!
Did you notice that?
Yep. I was like, okay.
I was thinking-
this bitch complaining about, where's the light?
Where's the light? She's holding a flashlight
Yeah,
and it's
and
not
she's-
even on.
And
I'm
she's
like,
pointing it at the monster. and
I can't
Antonia.
see you. Turn the flashlight on, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then they climb up into the forest and stuff, and then they reach this building, and I was like, okay, so we went from a thrilling robbery in a murder train car, to a monster movie, to the fucking Blair Witch.
Yep.
What the fuck is happening?
I love this. What is this? What is this place? Abigail says. The Thomas is like, I don't know. Let's go in.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Okay.
And they're not very quiet about it either.
No, they
Just ripping shit off walls, clanging
Yeah.
around inside. Like, wow, guys, shh. And I love this. Abigail asks it again to Evelyn. What is this place? She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was expecting her to ask everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, what is this place? I don't know.
I don't know. Abigail, shut the fuck up.
Stop asking us. We don't know.
Also, at this point in the movie, I realized, oh yeah, so I guess the old man conductor and all the wait staff are dead because they were in the train car
Yeah.
and they ran to the caboose, and then all that was left were those people, Eugene and Ray and Lucy and Matthew and Thomas and Evelyn and Abigail. Like, what happened to the two waiters? What happened to the old man conductor with white hair and a black mustache?
The one robber died. Gigi didn't die, though.
She must have, I guess, in the train crash because she was in
Yeah.
a different car.
Gigi was the monster.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just, I was like, oh yeah, they haven't acknowledged these people. And then they're in the house and they're running around and they're trying to figure out where they are and what they're going to do. And then the monster is in the house.
Oh, wait. First, Eugene just starts eating random
Oh, yeah.
old strange house canned sardines.
Yeah, and he's like, these are my favorite as a kid. Like, Eugene, you sick fuck.
And how did he? This scene made no sense.
No.
He holds up what looked like a key, but it turns out it was a little can opener,
Yeah.
twisty thing. And he just knows to go like, give me the light, hold on.
Yeah.
Reach up on top of the mystery cupboard and pull out, oh, look, sardines. Perfect. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that right there would mean, okay, maybe he's the bad guy. Maybe this was all orchestrated by him.
Yeah.
That started to kind of like dawn on me. I'm like, okay, maybe
Right?
Eugene's
Maybe
just a creepy psychopath.
But
And he murders people in this house.
then we discover that this monster, even though it looks like it is amphibious,
Amphibious?
I don't know. It looks like it only lives in the water. And it's in this Blair Witch house walking around and it eats Eugene and they come in.
Hold on. Did it swallow him whole, feet first,
Yep.
face out? Or
Yep.
was it just eating his head at that point?
I'm pretty sure it swallowed him like an anaconda because Eugene was like looking around.
Yeah, that's what I thought. His eyes are moving and
And
he's
they
like,
didn't
"Brr,
see his
brr."
body.
Like,
And he was like, nice. And then
what?
mouth closes.
That was so silly.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a point in here before that monster showed up where Evelyn asks Thomas, how long are we going to have to run from this thing?
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm thinking, well, it's not, you don't know if it's chasing you. You only saw it in the water and coming out of the water. You ran away. You haven't seen it since. How do you know it's chasing you?
Yeah.
So how do you know you're running away from it?
Yeah.
It's just another shitty dialogue part where I was thinking there's no sense. There's no logic to it.
They're running into like what seems like the basement, I guess.
Oh, and Evelyn just body checks that door hard.
Yeah.
Like that was a heck of a fucking check.
And then Abigail or Thomas is behind them, and Evelyn and Abigail are at the bottom of the stairs after Evelyn yeets into the room. Yeet. So the lambs are so yeet.
Is that what that means? Did you use yeet for that?
Yeah, yeet is like
Okay.
jumping or like going.
No, I just learned something new. I'm an old man.
Okay, boomer.
Technically a millennial still.
Yeah. But yeah, and then Abigail's like,
Oh God.
and Thomas is like, "What, you dumb bitch?" And he's not running with them. He's standing far away, and he's
Standing at
looking
the top of the stairs.
Yeah, and he's looking at Abigail like, "What are you looking at, dummy?" And then he slowly looks up, and the thing like grabs him from the roof racks of this shack.
Yeah, after we saw it finish eating, it's full of Eugene right now.
Yeah,
It is a
literally.
full 160-pound human inside of it.
Yeah,
And it's walking like, "Ugh.
yeah,
Oh my God, I need to burp." And like I'm like, okay, it's got to be full and slow. And all of a sudden, it's above this guy, upside down, hanging down, waiting for him to like
Yeah.
look up.
Yeah.
Is he holding himself in a bat hang with his feet? And stupid Abigail, like, first of all, Evelyn just powers through that door and just keeps running.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop and look back and go, oh shit, Abigail's not with me. Hey, where's Thomas?
Yeah.
Just keeps going and like gives a good 15, 20 seconds of Abigail staring at Thomas.
Yeah.
And both of them going, huh? What? Like, why wouldn't Thomas go like, what are you looking at? Oh shit, probably looking at something above me. I'm
Run.
gonna walk
Yeah.
down the stairs.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Run.
yeah.
Yeah. Just like you got him killed. You got the guy killed, Abigail.
Dumb bitch.
Idiot.
And then
Well,
Evelyn and Abigail are talking, and Evelyn's like, "Where's Thomas?" And Abigail was like, and then she doesn't say anything, and then they hear the monster outside the door, and Evelyn's like, "Maybe that's Thomas," and Abigail's just like, "It's not."
Yeah.
Like, who's the psycho here? Every different scene, it seems like this person's the psycho.
Yeah.
And then they're I don't even know what they were talking about, but they were trying to make it meaningful and blah blah blah. And then Abigail goes and walks to the door and opens it up, and Evelyn's like, "No!"
Yeah. Doesn't try to stop her.
No.
So what's she do with
It's
that
like,
monster?
No, don't, no.
Don't.
Like, doesn't care. And then she's just sitting there still watching the door, and I'm like, fucking run away.
At that point, I was like, was Abigail friends with this thing?
Yeah, like, what the hell?
It's odd.
And then I made this observation. Why is all the blood on everyone still wet and glistening?
Why was
And
there
bright
and why was
red.
there so much? None of them were really bleeding. None of them,
Yeah.
except for Ray.
Yeah.
Did he bleed on everybody?
Maybe. And
Dick.
then she books it out of the basement area.
She
and it's,
wakes up first
oh, right.
because she was asleep.
Yeah. And,
And
this
that's
thing
when I
left
thought,
her
like,
alone.
I thought, oh, you motherfuckers!
It's
what?
all a dream.
What is this?
Yeah.
Where is like, oh no, she's sleeping right there. Okay, where's everyone else? Where's Abigail? She doesn't even look for her. She's like, oh shit.
Nope. And then she
better
runs.
go.
And it's daylight. And she's running in the forest, and then all of a sudden she gets to a set of train tracks, and she starts walking in a random direction. And I'm like, those go both ways. How do you
Yeah.
know where you are?
Better pick the right direction.
And then
Well, and she has like a vision in the fucking woods too. She's like, wait, and she's remembering
Oh,
what the host is
yeah.
saying, and he's like, it'll be tough sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll have to endure. And I'm like, what? Huh?
And then on the train tracks, when they're filming it, you can literally see the like fumes of like, you know, when it's so hot
The heat-
outside
oh,
in the
yeah.
summer and you're
The heat
driving.
waves.
Yes, you can see those, and she's barefoot.
It's always 10 degrees hotter on the train tracks than off the train tracks. I used to be a railroad contractor, and it's why? Because it's just steel. They just soak up heat all day in the
Yeah,
sun.
and she's walking in the middle of them barefoot, totally fine.
the railroad ties get warm, but yeah, they're not good for your feet.
Yeah.
You don't want to walk on railroad tracks in bare feet.
No.
Those rocks are hard.
Yeah.
The railroad tracks are hot. The fucking you get splinters from those railroad
Mm-hmm.
ties. They're not good.
And then she somehow makes it to the train station again. And you know, this lady is there, and you can tell she works there because she's wearing like the khakis and the blue shirt. She has a walkie-talkie.
Oh, yeah.
And Evelyn emerges from the fog, and she's like, "Help! Help!" And this chick who is like, "What the hell?" and grabs her and brings her to the office. And she's like, "Something attacked me. I was on a train and it crashed, and I'm the only survivor that I know of, blah, blah, blah." And she goes and gets her friend, and this dude comes by, and he's like, "Oh my God, this chick's psycho."
Well, at this point, I'm going, has no one heard of a missing train? Like, does
Yeah.
no one know that the train crashed?
Yeah, like
News
that-
hasn't spread to all the train stations?
Right? When she was like, "What? A train crash?" I'm like, "Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is a murder dinner party. It should have been docked probably like earlier last night." And then they go and get the senior.
Many.
Yeah, they go and get the guy, and they're like, "Yeah, you need to come here. There's this girl in my office, and she said a train crashed." And
And they said, does she have any ID? And like, no phone, no ID. I'm like, oh, phone. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
it's now.
it's yeah,
It must be now.
yeah, no phone, no ID, nothing. But she looks like really worn up and beat up. And then they're taking him to
Like,
the office.
Did you get a name?
And they're like, "Yeah, Evelyn
Hyde.
Hyde."
And then he's like, Evelyn Hyde. Wait, did you say Evelyn Hyde? I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Jekyll and Hyde? Fuck you, derailed. You piece of shit.
And
I
then
was so offended.
yeah. And then they take him to her office, and she starts looking around. Evelyn starts looking around in the office and sees a calendar and the computer, and she's like, "What the?" And then she starts freaking out and grabs the doorknob and is trying to get out of this locked door. And then lights start flickering, and she's banging on the door. And then they get to the office, and he's like,
Is that her?
and they're like, "Yeah, I
It must
guess."
be.
Opens the office, no one's in there. And the two were like, "No, she was just here. Like, I saw her." And then the guy's like, "Follow me."
Well, where did she go? Well, now you just heard her too. None of them
Yeah.
think to like, well, let's run around the building. Maybe
Yeah.
she went out the window.
And then they go to a train car that's on display, and it's a bunch of trinkets, and it's like a museum. And then exposition, and the guy reveals he was like, "There was a train crash."
In 1922.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
off.
and then there's a photo that's black and white that has everyone.
It was the photo that they took before the night started.
Yep.
And then it like crossfades to her walking up to a train and doing the same stare down as the start. I actually
Yeah.
like skipped. I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
What was this?
I
And I
know.
skipped back to the start of the movie and I was like, it's the same. Like, who's she fucking? What?
Yeah.
What is the point?
And then I was like, okay, well, my guess 3 bullets in was correct. Everyone's a fucking ghost. But that made me even more mad because I saw she had a fucking conch piercing.
Mm-hmm.
And
And why are we watching a movie about ghosts?
yeah, this was supposed. I signed up for people on a train and it derailed and they plunged into water and they had to decide whether they were gonna die by drowning or fight for their fucking lives. Monsters.
Monsters.
Yeah, plural.
Plural.
And what we got was a third of a robber, burglary, thriller, a third of a monster flick, singular, and a third ghost movie. What the fuck? Like, this movie was D-cast. Everything about it is rated D. No wonder it was called D-railed.
Suck dick.
Yeah.
Suck big dick.
This was so bad.
It scored 3.7 out of 10.
Too generous.
Oh, I give it
Half a star. For the fact that they use practical effects for the neck pumping blood in the monster.
I'm going to give it 1 monster head inside of 10 monster heads.
I'm going to give it 1 mutilated arm with the flesh ripped off and the bone exposed out of 10 fish lips.
Ugh. Yeah, Thomas's fish lips.
Thomas's fish lips.
Have you ever watched Battlestar Galactica? It's so good.
What is it on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
All 4 seasons.
Well, we know I have that because I picked this piece of shit.
It's good. It's a great mind fuck of a show.
Ooh, okay.
What are we going to do next?
Yeah, I think it's your pick next.
I know we started doing this, watch the preview for the next movie, but I haven't thought of anything. I'll think of something.
Yeah.
I'll post it on the Instagram page, Facebook and stuff. All right. See you guys in a week.
Bye.
Stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Bye.
This is Real Garbage.